Quarterfinals time is officially here, everybody. North
Mhm.
American Challengers League Qualifiers 1 of the summer is slowly starting to come to a close, and it means we have just so many bigger stakes here. But what we have here for you guys on the Salt Mine is another awesome face here to be beside me. It is the one, the only DBZ Freak 2 stepping in here with me to break down
Yeah.
our matchup, Pulsestar versus Wangtown. Number 1 seed from Group A, Pulsestar. Number 2 seed from Group D, Wangtown. DBZ, how you feeling about this matchup, man?
I am feeling incredible about this matchup. Thank you for having me on, Slayer, and it's great to be here. So, as we're coming in, it's Wangtown versus Polestar, as you had mentioned. Number 1 seed Group A, number seed Group D. Now, I watched the series yesterday from Wangtown versus CCB in that Castleberry series. It was insane. All 3 games were incredibly scrappy. I wrote down 1.5 million notes pretty much of like what I thought of Wingtown during that series. And I hope that'll definitely fit into the narrative what we're coming into today because they're facing Pulsestar, who is undefeated. Prismal has been on the last 3 teams of the week, I believe. And they're just all around a really strong team. We expected a lot out of Polestar at the beginning of the season, and so far they have definitely delivered. And if they can continue that momentum, I foresee them being quite the challenge, I think, going into qualifiers when that time comes. Now, Wangtown, they definitely have a mountain to climb, I think, this series, because the 3 games they played yesterday, there were a lot of mistakes that I think Polestar can capitalize upon. So if they took those times, VOD reviewed, cleaned up some of those mistakes, I think this can be a really competitive series. We could be seeing 3 games, and I love 3 games of League of Legends. Don't you love 3 games of League of Legends?
I certainly love 3 games of League of Legends that involve the full Fearless format as
Mm-hmm.
well. So if we reach that game number 3, 20 unique champions will be off the board for that, which is always very fun. But I love the points you made there about Polestar. Just as an organization, they've been slowly swelling up as one of those tier 3 orgs that everybody's been a fan of, really feel good org. But specifically the players, I'm glad that you mentioned Prismal as well. But the solo lanes are 2 guys that really stand out for me as well. Ariendel, ever since he made the move to Chicago to focus on just grinding solo queue, trying to get better, this guy's been one of the best mids in this tournament, if not the best mid laner in this entire tournament. And then Hoarder is a guy that a lot of people have always toyed around with the idea of, I could see how this guy could become a really big NA talent, but he's had his struggles, he's had his ups and downs. He's also lit a fire under him this entire time for Polestar, like you mentioned, since they are now currently 9-0 in pure game score. So those guys you talked about, Prismal, Will is also alongside Prismal, another player that has already seen tier 2 level of play. Polestar are certainly a team to beat, a team that earned the number 3 seed, and Polestar alongside Wangtown is ready to kick off this draft. So we will head over to kick off our game number 1 draft. Top 4 is on the line, and when it comes to Qualifier 1, it's really all about the points because you can't auto bid into the promotion tournament until the Qualifier 2, so it's gobbling up as many points as you can, and boy, would that be big for Wangtown and expected for Polestar, who start out on the blue side, and their first ban is going to be that coveted Senna.
Yeah, I noticed that Deathwalker gets targeted a lot on the Senna. Got a pentakill on the champion, I believe, a couple of days ago. It just is absolutely disgusting player from what I'm seeing. Willing to be aggressive, has actually a really deep champion pool as well. Because I saw mainly for the first couple of games, Deathwalker got utility 80 carries banned, and so far we're on track for that as the Ashe is getting taken off the table right now. So continuing that trend, they know that Deathwalker is good on these utility carries. From here on the other side, we have the ASL being banned. Need I say more about ASOL? ASOL is absolutely broken. Rumble, a really strong champion as well. The Corki getting taken away, which I will say would be a potential surprise if they ban it away. The early game trading from Corkizi is pretty disgusting. So the fact they're willing to actually in the
Yeah.
response, yeah, okay. So they instantly respond with a Tristana ban, which is typically the matchup that we see going back and forth. They're usually traded between each other. But it looks like we're aiming for the Ezreal, which is a flex pick. I will add, we do see
Yes.
it a lot in the bot lane, but we do see it in the mid lane as well. So that is a potential pick that could be gone. And the Lucian being the response. Woo! If we get this Lucian pick, I'm all for aggressive mid lanes. Those kind of matchups are a lot of fun to watch, and the Karthus being Hubbard at the moment is not as is still really strong. Did take a couple of small hits this in this incoming patch, but not too much to where he's out of the meta. Now the Maokai, I have to say, I'm smelling something here. I'm smelling some cooking going on in Polestar's kitchen.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh.
100%. I mean, I would at this point, I would kind of technically dictate Maokai as an AP jungler with the rest of them, with the way the fact that he goes Faded Ashes first, you rush to the
Mhm.
Yamdris for the sapling damage. Yes, obviously ends up being the tank, but he can slot in there. I do find it interesting that the Zyra wasn't selected here at any
Mhm.
point. I know that's been absolutely broken, but the Karthus is certainly up there. No Lilia taken. They like the Maokai. The Jace locked in for Polestar still holds some of that flexibility, but I actually am personally knowledgeable. I'm gonna toot my own horn. The one of my favorite casting clips I've ever had in my career is Ariendel in a Risen Champions League game playing Jace, winning a fight
Mm.
on his own. So it would be sweet for me to see Ariendel, first game, I haven't cast him in a while, he busts out the Jace, which could be a possibility, but Hoarder can obviously take that one top as we are flying through that second phase of bans.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna go ahead and go over them real quick. The Yone and the Aurelia bans, unsurprising for me at all, considering Debonair loves to play the Yone. Did play the Yone yesterday in their series as well. Aurelia, don't if you are playing Jace, that is not a matchup that you want to have. Aurelia can bully the best out of you. Looks like we're gonna get the Yasuo instead. Now the support bans are the typical Ezreal pairing, so really good drafting by Wingtown on that one to take those away from him. Now the Yasuo, we
Woo!
we're,
Game
we're
one?
we're all inning. We're all inning this game on Wington, that's for sure. The Leona can put a damper on all of that, so Pulsestar with a really good answer, I think, into pretty much a good chunk of this draft from the side of Wangtown, and the Jax being locked in as well. They don't have a top laner yet on Wangtown, so this will be blind. I assume this is not a Yasuo top anyways, but okay. Oh, I thought he was like, well,
Nah,
we
they're
really
trolling.
going T-Mo, but it's a
No,
troll.
no, no,
Right,
no. It's a
right,
troll. It's a troll. It does mean though Ariendel's gonna be on the Jace mid lane.
Mhm.
Porter is very also well known for his Jax. Played a ton during Polestar's run here. Ezreal will go into the hands of Prismal, my favorite champion in the game, my most played OTP champion, Ezreal. So it's always fun to get to cast him. But I really, DBZ, I gotta give you credit. That Leona shout out is very good because they're all the damage that is going to come out from this Wangtown comp. They've got like 3 pure damage dealers right now.
Mhm.
Leona can really counter them in a really good way, especially the Yasuo and the Lucian, 2 champions that
Yes.
rely on mobility in fights. If you get the Zenith Blade Solar Flare combo down on Leona, that is a good 4 seconds of pure stun where you could just push damage through before they can even turn this fight. So that puts Clarice in a great position to really wreck what Wangtown want to do.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And the Malphite lock-in, I almost said Maokai for some reason, but the Malphite lock-in for Wangtown, that is the front line that they needed. I was thinking that they were lacking a bit of front line, so that Malphite pick does give them some agency and some engage as well, as you were relying heavily on the Nami Bubble, Nami Wave, or the Yasuo ultimate, or just flat out bursting someone on the Lucian. So having that Malphite, especially with the Yasuo, so we got a pretty disgusting Wombo combo coming in, pair that with the Karthus ultimate, where their health bars, who knows? But if we get to that point in the game, that'll be exciting to see that Wombo combo in action. On the other side, Polestar, they're playing the long con, that's for sure, especially with this Ezreal pick coming in. So they're going to be looking to get Prismal into the game. Arendelle going to do Jace things. And the rest of the team, I imagine from top jungle perspective, will be kind of holding their own. I did notice that, especially on the side of Wangtown, they love to prioritize void objectives. So seeing if Polestar can create a bit of pressure on that top side, so that way we can avoid them from getting that tempo going. One thing I did notice yesterday, particularly for Wangtown, is when they get that high tempo going, sometimes they get a little lost in the sauce. And what I mean by that simply is sometimes they will put their foot on the gas a little too hard and then start making mistakes. And that's something that Polestar would be very good to capitalize upon. But I think Wangtown very much have a shot in this series. They would absolutely blow everyone's mind because I don't think they're expecting to beat Polestar, because Polestar is the very, very heavy favorites coming into this matchup today.
Yeah, great. Really well said there. And I do think go on that long con point, and I want to give some more credit to this Polestar draft because they've set themselves up to play a very unique style of League of Legends, right? Like Wangtown over here, that's solo queue fun, right? We're going Wombo Yasuo combo with a Karthus ult over top. Like we're just trying to delete people, which, like you mentioned, is a tune to how Wangtown have been playing all qualifiers. Good draft. But what I like from Polestar is the fact that they are going to be able to play a very unique 4-1 split with Hoarder, and they have a ton of poke and just general control of whatever part of the map they want. If you are Wangtown, how do you walk into any blind river or vision in general with a Jace firing shock blast, and Ezreal has, ton of mystic shots, and then there's saplings littered everywhere. So Wangtown are gonna have to be really careful about playing any sort of fight outside of these traditional lanes going forward, even with this Wombo that can get slowed down really well for how Polestar drafted. And as much as I would love to sit here and Theorycraft with you, DBZ, with this amazing draft, let's just watch it in action. All right, let's get to Summoner's Rift. Game 1, Polestar versus Wangtown.
I am so ready for this first game of the series. I didn't try to do that cheeky little Dragon Soul game that I do on all my other casts. everyone else who's casting would know that, but I messed up and thought like, we probably won't have time to do it. And I was right. We would have actually had time. But here we are. Game one between these two teams.
Did I lose DBZ or did
No?
Is Discord screwing me over or is DBZ getting screwed over by Discord?
The answer might be yes.
Oh, it's me. It's 100% me.
Oh, okay. We had some technical difficulties there for a moment. Are we good now?
Yes,
we got
Discord did the classic drop me to 5,000 ping, and I don't hear anybody. So we're back. Listen, we got it out of the way early. Listen, as long as that doesn't happen during a team fight, I'll put up with Discord. It's all right. It happens.
Yeah, this is why in CS they use TeamSpeak. No, I'm just kidding. I love Discord. Anyways, so I was just getting started with a really hilarious point where I was saying we didn't get a chance to do a cheeky little Dragon Soul game that I like to do on all my casts, so where we predict what Dragon Soul is what.
Ooh,
but
okay.
It's something I love to do. It's a fun little mini game that I think all casters should do just for funsies. And there's no reward. It's just bragging rights mainly.
So I guess we can kind of still do it, but we're cheating because we know one is off the table, right?
Yes.
We know Cloud. I'm going with an Ocean Soul. I'll say that. I'll throw that one out there for you. I'll play the game.
Okay. Now, you mentioning that Arendelle is very good at Jace, so I want there to be an Infernal Soul because I want to see health bars disappear.
Yeah, I mean, Infernal Soul for this game would just be absolute chaos for sure. So we'll have to track which one. We'll give a little point system going here, but on the Rift, we do see that both these jugglers are going for that mirrored clear so far. And it's going to be interesting to track exactly where especially Will wants to go, because it feels like really every one of these lanes is pretty volatile in the early game.
Yeah, definitely. Jax is going to have the advantage over Malphite for a hot minute. At least until Malphite starts building armor, and then it gets a little difficult. Jungle matchup, they don't want to mess with each other too much. They want to farm, get those AP items, start getting that poke out. Yasuo and Jace, oh lordy, when both of them hit level 3, it is game on. And here in the bottom lane, it's kind of the same deal. When I think both of these bot laners hit level 3, we'll see an all-in from someone. I'm anticipating Clarice to go in first. Usually Leona has that more aggressive engage that they would be looking for, especially Pulsestar in this instance. And here we have a cheeky win while blocking the cannon, so -1 cannon on Arendelle. This is your GOAT. No, I'm just kidding.
-1 indeed. I'm also now realizing an unfortunate update that we did not bring forward here. Our mistake. Wangtown is playing with a sub. That is Cinnamon Red getting ganked by Clarice currently. So we'll see if he has burn the flash. Yep, has to burn it. Zenith Blade still lands though for Clarice. Really well predicted, and that is my GOAT getting first blood. Pulsestar Arendelle.
All right, so the roam up from Clarice, and yeah, as mentioned, that is a substitute for Wang. Just Clarice with the roam timing on that. It looks like Ezreal backed at some point to get the tier. Clarice saw an angle, went mid, and I think Hoarder is dead.
Yep, he tried to time it with the clear of Rapid, but Rapid roams up, and well, you give a Jason early kill, that's scary. How about a Karthus early kill for Wangtown?
Especially because Karthus wants to hit 6 here first before this Maokai can. Because you get anyone low, you can immediately start that tempo of getting this Karthus ahead because you press R, get a kill from halfway across the map. All right, let's get some items going. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Then you have a really annoying Karthus with like a 50-second ult cooldown and just spamming it later in the game. But the score's 1-1 now. We just were commenting on Arendelle getting first blood, which is also huge. Ended up with the tier in base as well. And then Clarice here on the roam timing. I am going to be completely shocked to say, and this is for me of all people who watched a lot of these games, that I was not expecting that roam timing that early. So Clarice subverting my expectations off the bat already. Very impressed as we're kind of converging on mid lane here. There are 3 people here.
Arendelle still has flash available, and it looks like actually Pulsestar might want to turn for a fight. Clarice and Will both present, but they don't have the best gap close ability without ultimates up. So it's just a show of force. Everybody puffing their chest out, but all bark, no bite.
All bark, no bite indeed. So just like you were saying, this game is going to be volatile, and it definitely has been showing so far. Getting a lot of presence from mid and, or not mid and jungle, but jungle and support from both sides. And they're just like, all right, what are we going to do first? What are we going to do first? Who's going to flex first? And then once those combos are broken, actually, we're getting very aggressive in the mid lane. Good trade by Arendelle. Senna is going to have to start being a little respectful because these full combos from Jace do hurt a lot, even this early in the game. So anticipating maybe a little bit of armor with the steel plates, maybe for the Yasuo to not get poked out as hard. It is a full AD comp coming out of Pulsestar, minus the cheeky, Leandries that Maokai will build. But other than that, wait a minute.
Gosh. Ariendel just will not let you get away with that, Cinnamon Bread. Second kill over to him, 2-0 on his staple Jace, and he's vamping up for Pulsestar's game 1.
Absolutely. You're right. That's your GOAT. I understand now. I'm understanding more and more. But Rapid down here in the bottom lane will be spotted on this ward. They should be aware of this. Yep, and they will just actually get slightly aggressive here. Trade a little bit of blows. The ward will go down. So not much to come out of that play. Good vision coverage by Claire Reeds to spot the Karthus from coming down. Will be forced to probably go for this streak. I don't anticipate he should, as his bot lane doesn't have that much push, but they're trying to push this up. So they will actually start the Drake. I will be corrected on that one. I mean, Jace is not on the map. Yasuo is getting the push into mid lane. This does open up the first Cloud Drake of the game to go over, and this should be uncontested. Maokai should realistically, I'm expecting, go for the Void Grubs in response once they see this is down. They are pinging on the side of Wangtown, so they might be aware that this is happening, but I don't think they'll make too much of a priority out of it.
I do like this for Rapid. Now actually potentially going for, I'd likely just be a hover here, but he might time it well. I thought Clearance might jump forward with the Hex Flash, but actually back off. And maybe actually trying to set up a bit of a death brush of his own, recognizing, yeah, he's going to likely get the Grubs trade. Predicting right that Will is just hopping right on top of those, and he will actually push for the reset. I was a little bit worried about Maokai trying to clear first 3 Void Grubs on his own, but that's exactly why Hoarder swings over and make sure that we get the classic Season 14 trade. First 3 grubs for first dragon.
Yeah, the usual. I mean, even with them changing the timer, it doesn't really matter. We're still seeing the 2 get traded back and forth. But 3 grubs is a very good start, especially with this Jax wants to be in a 4-1 scenario, as Rapid will be caught here, I think.
Yep, twisted advance into the stun lock from the Counter-Strike. Really well played, and Hoarder just bops him with that 3rd auto proc. Gets his revenge for the earlier kill on the proxy.
And I think Will, just knowing the timing on that one, knowing that like they have the advantage here of knowing that Rapid is going to be pathing down this way, they get the drop on Rapid. Did not flash, luckily, so that will be available. But I think Senna's about to be dove here.
Yeah, Senna's getting the camping treatment here. He's going to try to dash away. Twisted advance will actually knock them out of turret aggro. Senna goes a little too far out. Ariendel goes on a killing spree, and Pulsestar are making it known who they're going to play through for this game 1.
Yeah, Ariendel 3-0, 250 gold shutdown. That Dirk is going to be a little painful in the next couple of minutes. I imagine actually probably has enough gold to finish the first lethality item, if my knowledge shows me correct, as they're backing right now. No, never mind, going for the cooldown boots. But just they're 1,500 gold up already onto Senna in this matchup. 0-3 on the Yasuo, but you know what? I have faith because the 1 in 10 Yasuo power spike exists. Therefore, Senna is still in this game. As long as they can get to those 10 deaths, then they will pop off, because that is the law of Yasuo. And then Malphite hasn't joined any fights yet. So you know what? We're just gonna, see, we're setting up for a dive onto Hoarder. Sorry, there's no HP up here. Will is in the area, but might sense that this is coming. And here we go.
Solo queue classic. The unstoppable force into the last breath. Senna gets a kill on the board, but like you mentioned, Will was close by. Now Ariendel's here to roam, follows the flash with the twisted advance. Senna just can't catch a break right now, has no ultimate available. Ariendel is just waiting for his free kill to come back round, and he'll get it with the shock blast. 4 kills to Ariendel, all 4 of them on the head of Cinnamon Bread.
Yeah. 1 and 4 on this Yasuo. I mean, that was the solo queue classic. You said press R, someone dies, Hoarder ends up falling down. But the response there with Will and Ariendel being in the area, it just made it too easy for them to collapse onto this, and Hoarder might have caught Rapid here.
Yeah, Pulsestar have a Rapid red so well. He's going to get the red buff, burn flash, but Hoarder's going to flash right after him and kill him off for a second time. Pulsestar's knowledge of the pathing from Wangtown really showing up.
Definitely showing up, and this is what we saw from game 1 actually of yesterday's series against Castleberry. Rapid was on the Zyra getting bullied out of the jungle, but
okay, Karthus ult nearly drops Prismal. He barely escapes. They're lucky that Rapid is a little far behind on the Karthus, or that would have been a big get back kill for Wangtown.
Oh yeah, the Blackfire touch unfortunately not finished, but man, oh man. Now, just like I was saying, Rapid being put behind in the first game yesterday, however, persevered and managed to come back. So Rapid, having a completely level head right now at this moment is like, this is just like yesterday. I'm gonna go ahead, pull through, farm up, and scale into the game, and all of a sudden, then Rapid was one-shotting people by the late game. So on path to potentially repeat the same thing. This is what WANG 2, hold on a second, order going in, but I don't think Boil the Oil will have to be worried as much. Does have the Frozen Hearts, won't take as much damage anymore. Feeling pretty good about taking these trades with the Jax. Eventually Jax is just going to start tickling him, and that's when you're like, all right, I'm a true tank. Now, as I was mentioning, yes, especially for yesterday's, Rapid was very well at playing from behind and was able to still make plays for their team. Now, this is also the part where Wangtown suffer a little bit, I will add. Once they usually get behind, they try to force plays, and usually mistakes happen after the fact. In this instance, we'll talk about that top lane dive, as they were not aware of where mid-jungle was and the collapse happening. And Will is going to dive Sin again.
Yep. All right. Damage already got him to half HP. Doesn't even need Will. He just shows up, walks through the turret, and barely grabs an assist. The headline, though, Ariendel 5-0 on his staple Jason. He's going to push Pulsestar to roam back over to the second dragon, which is a Hex Tech DBZ, so we're both still alive in the bet.
Hey, that's what I like to see, but we're putting diving under the bot lane. They could realistically do it, but it looks like they will opt in for the Drake instead to stop that dragon stacking that I would say Wangtown was very good at yesterday. They were very good at dragon stacking in the early games, so splitting up these Drakes, I think, is a win for Pulsestar in this instance that slows down the tempo that Wangtown like to try to build. And what's the third Drake? It's an Infernal!
Oh, look at that. First game on the Salt Mine pod at DBZ cashes in. You know what? This is a rigged game. You made up the game, and you win the first one? I call it rigged. This is rigged.
Well, if you want me to be completely honest, this is probably the only one I'll win, because I'll probably get the rest of them wrong for the rest of the night. That is my legacy.
Well, hey, win's a win nonetheless. You win my gratitude. That's what you get here.
Nice.
Pulsestar with their lead, though, are going to win themselves 6 Void Grubs as well on the back end of it. This is just a masterclass early game from the 9-0 team in the qualifiers. They are going to land themselves up 3,000 gold, 6 Void Grubs, and an even dragon stacking at 12.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, do we really need to say anything about Arendelle right now? But as we say that, I think we're having a fight here.
Yep, Zen's Blade gonna land. They didn't get the Solar Flare stun, but it doesn't matter. The damage of the Shock Blast True Shot Barrage combo is enough. Kohli gonna come back out from Deathwalker, but it's just not enough to find a trade. And with Rapid behind, even if he pops the Requiem here, I don't think they find a trade kill.
No, I don't think it's enough damage as of this moment. Maybe level 8 and the item's done. They maybe trade it due to the DOT damage. Oh, hello, Senna.
Okay.
It's pretty little.
All right, yeah, he wants to see if he can cut down the tree, and he's got help. Rapid is coming over. Already used the last breath. And the phase rush is going to get Will out, but of course he's going to let it be known that he is much stronger than the two of them. Will is just toying with his food right now. 1 versus 2. He dropped the Nature's Grasp as well. Rapid's low, and he just gets popped. Ariendel comes out of the shadows. Here comes the Requiem down, but my God, is Ariendel just a god among men in this game. Gets a double kill on Cheeto's head. He's on the wrong side of Summer's Rift, but I still like his odds. There's no last breath pull up that unstoppable force. Ariendel's going to go back in, try and follow the blast cone. Flashes over. Double blast cone. The slow comes across though from Boil the Oil, and finally Ariendel will fall at 7-1. Senna cashing in 1,000 gold shutdown.
Oh man, 1,000 gold shutdown over to Senna. You're gonna be feeling very good about that one. But man, Will, I have to say, was kind of disrespecting Wangtown a little bit there. Just sidestepping all the abilities, all the skittles, and then Senna coming in. They ended up getting the kill, but then Ariendel TPing from a red buff ward that was there prior to ends up just absolutely demolishing the fight. Then got a little too lost in the sauce, which is going to be my phrase for tonight. And just ended up giving over, not like exactly giving over, because it was a huge shutdown. It helped Senna finish their first item. They're going to be feeling very good about their positioning. That gives Wangtown a little bit of a buffer, I would say, for the next few minutes. So that way they can start doing exactly what I like. They're starting getting a little chaotic, starting to get a little... they're getting collapsed on. Right as I say that, oh no, Clarice.
Yeah, Cheeto the target. Typical playing Nami in any game of League of Legends is going to flash over the wall. Prismal can fall. That's a great Solar Flare into the True Shot Barrage. That is an alley-oop and slam dunk from the Pulsestar bottom lane.
Yeah, Prismal and Clarice layering their ultis on top of each other, get the kill onto Jito, ends up falling as well. That's Ezreal's first kill as well. Hey, that's one of your win cons for this late game. Prismo, you know, getting a hard head start, getting closer to that Trinity Force, and the Rift Herald was going to be traded on the other side, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it. No, they end up backing off. Rapid is just not far enough ahead to be able to withstand the pressure that Ariandel, Hoarder, and Will can place down. I think just the numbers advantage, they're just going to go ahead and give it up, and even loses the Raptor at the end of that as well. Okay, so let's recap as we are cresting over into the mid game. We are 1 Drake apiece. We're 1-1. It is a almost 5,000 gold lead, cresting over into 60 minutes into the game. The first Infernal Drake is in a minute. Ariandel has 2 items. I think we covered pretty much where we are in the state of the game at the moment.
Yep. I will say the one asterisk is he is going for the cheapest items in the game. He's building lethality, but yeah, he's still 8-1 on this Jace, and every time he shows up somewhere, Wangtown have to make sure they have at least 2 people to just even out the numbers for the might of Ariandel in this game 1.
Absolutely. In 32 seconds now, we have the first Drake coming up. It's all about that mid push, you know, push this in, open up that mid tier 1, and I think Rapid might be caught here. There's no vision.
Yep, he's going to walk right into Hoarder. The bottom lane is close by, so Hoarder is going to eat a pretty big chunk. Gets the culling to his face, but does a really good ward hop, dodges the tidal wave. Rapid does have the Requiem if he wants it. Deathwalker's going to flash after him. He doesn't have a mid turret, though, and they're just going to turn on to Jito. Good engage by Clarice. Prismal picks up the kill, and here comes the Nature's Grass hunting down Rapid. There is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from the might of Pulsestar. The Shock Blast doesn't get it, but Will pick it up for the 13th kill under the Pulsestar banner.
Oh my goodness, it ends up being a 2-for-0 at the end of that whole play. Maybe not, 3 for
okay. Well, look who's close by, though. Hoarder is right by here. Can they burn through Will in time before the reinforcements come around? Will has a good flash, a good pound on the ground. And Deathwalker, he's burning to the saplings and the Liandries alone. Clarice picks up the kill. Hoarder grabs the other one. It is feeling like an unplayable game for Wangtown in our first match.
Yeah, definitely. Just and Jito died too off screen. That was probably an absolute 100-0. I mean, that's just the power of Jace. Really strong Jace, 9-1 here. Ariandel is popping off on this champion. And at the end of the day, that whole play ends up being pretty much a 5-for-0, like a way delayed ace. They will get the Drake, maybe get the Drake. I'm holding my breath on this one.
Yep, Ariandel's here. Maybe we'll see how much he decides to limit test this Jace. Good wind wall on the first shock blast. He's going in. He's not going to pick up the dragon. It will be secured there by Cinna, but Rapid is already chunked far too low. Ariandel waits on his cooldowns, gets one, flashes out, and who else but the reinforcements to come through. Cinna chasing down, doesn't get the tornado, takes the blast cone, will find the shutdown. So Cinnamon Bread picks up one, and he's going to casually teleport on out. Hoarder also getting picked off on the other side. So maybe some light at the end of the tunnel there for Wangtown, grabbing 2 shutdowns.
Okay, we got 2 shutdowns. They will lose this mid-tier 2 in response to all that. But okay, so very importantly, 2 shutdowns went over. 1 went over to the Yasuo. That's the second shutdown of the game. That should give them quite the jump in towards, I imagine they're going to do Shieldbo next. I would be shocked if they're delaying IE, but the Yasuo builds are kind of weird nowadays. And so here is an example of what I was talking about, where Wangtown might get lost in the sauce when they start feeling themselves. They kind of overextend a little bit, and Ariandel might go for this, but he should sniff something out. He doesn't sniff it.
Close by. Great usage of the
Where'd
secret
Clarice come from?
And Clarice, I don't know, he doesn't have teleport, but the reality is he's here, and he's on the flank. He's marked Deathwalker for death. Does get a good cleanse and a dash over the wall. Deathwalker is fine. They are still running away. Ariandel hesitant to go in with the threat of Boil the Oil's ultimate. And the range game doesn't get enough damage, so Pulsestar have to let Wangtown out. Maybe not Rapid, though. Again. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Hoarder's cutting off the mid lane flank. Will is... This is torturous. He's trying to use the saplings for death. Rapid actually gets the speed up from the Infernal Cinders, and this game's starting to get a little wacky, DBZ.
Yeah, just a wee bit. We had I'm gonna call it the Benny Hill collapse in the top lane, where we just randomly have 3 people from every single direction and no one dies. Rift Herald does go over to Pulsestar, so that's the good news. If they decide they want to go for that, who's going to take the eye? Okay, Ariandel, unsurprisingly. Uh, going to be looking for some mid lane pressure, I imagine, for that in the moment. Just hold on to that for the next couple of minutes. It will be up in time for Drake as well, so they could use that to force off Wangtown from getting this soul point. They are ahead in Drake's, so that is a plus side. I could also foresee them holding it for a hot minute and just breaking open all of mid lane right now if they wanted to. Realistically, with how strong Ariandel is, could go back, end up getting their third item, and they have so much wave clear from Prismal and Ariandel alone that the two of them could just brute force this base open. And we've seen some of these EQs coming out of Ariandel, and it's been absolutely tarnishing health bars. If Senna's not there with the wind wall, just health bars are decaying right in front of us. And the third item, the Muramana, is coming through. That's an obnoxious power spike. And at this point, Ariandel can build whatever they want. And I know it sounds like we're hyping up this Jace, but like we've seen it from the early game, just outplaying Senna twice, just being there in clutch moments, getting lost in the sauce because they were feeling themselves, and just they propelled their team. They have 10 of the 17 kills. And I'm just, they love to play through Prismal. They love to play through Ariandel. They will play wherever they need to in terms of who they feel should be the strongest point of contention for Pulsestar. And Wangtown, they do kind of have a bit of a mountain to climb, but they do thrive in these situations.
All right, Clarice whiffs the Solar Flare stun and the Zenith Blade. Nature's Grasp is only going to tag Jito.
Okay.
There's not enough damage close by. Good Tidal Wave to push Pulsestar off.
Okay,
So for now, yeah, Wangtown will survive the engage. Herald topside should crash. Ariandel will be able to get out, and
Nice.
it actually does break the base open.
Okay, but the trade-off for that is they're immediately pinging onto the Baron, and I'm pretty sure Wangtown are aware they are pinging it themselves as well.
Spotted
Also
it.
saw it over the Red World is too. 10,000 health. This doesn't burn terribly fast, but I do think the turn is really good here if they decide to go for it.
Oh, yeah, and Ariandel's waiting in the wings. That
Oh.
shot blast just halved out the entire Wangtown bottom lane. That's a warning, a foreboding
Oh no.
vision of the future. The True Shot Barrage nearly chunks Jito, and with all that damage, Pulsestar say, all right, now we can comfortably secure ourselves a purple banner.
Yeah, this will be the Baron going over to Pulsestar. Not much to say. I mean, we saw what a 3-item Jace just did to 2 health bars. 80% to like 40% health. It was absolutely insane how much damage that output. This will be the Baron as well. That gives them about a almost a 9,500 gold lead, or 8.5 rather, 8,500 gold lead. They're gonna back. You get ready for this next Drake in 17 seconds. Wangtown, I do believe, can get here first. Look at that gold lead in the mid lane. That's 2,300 gold, and it's almost 3,000 in the top lane as well. We haven't really talked about gold leads much because we've been focusing so much on Ariandel just popping off in all these fights, and Will's going for a fight.
Yep, he's going in. Nature's Grasp going to grab Deathwalker, cleanses one
Flash.
thing, but he can't cleanse the double counter strike. Hoarder is hunting him down. A flash out, and Coling will get turned on Hoarder's head. There's a good last breath down, but Hoarder just does not take damage. Clear Eats doesn't either. Pulsestar are far too ahead for anything Wangtown throw at him. A double kill over to Hoarder. It's a rout as Pulsestar look to push their record to 10-0 in Summer Qualifiers 1.
I'm 99% sure they can end this game. They should just put brute force this open and like barrel it down to the Nexus. I do believe that is the call that I'm seeing. We're getting the recall out of the Jax. Does have TP, so we'll be back very shortly to TP on this video as they're fighting.
Yep, and Will, combined with Prismal damage, just deletes Deathwalker. This was not close by any metrics. A 24-minute slam fest in the name of Pulsestar as they take a 1-0 lead, eyeing their first top 4 spot in organization history.
Absolutely, and it'd be really huge for Pulsestar to do this. Now, I have to say, this is the Wangtown comfort zone because this is exactly where they were yesterday in the first game. So you know what? I believe that Wangtown will adapt in this second game. That they did this exact same thing yesterday. They'll come in with something new because guess what? We're fearless, which means they're gonna play cool other picks, and that is the chaos that they thrive on, and that's where I think they will excel in these next couple of games. And I'm excited for game 2. Heck, I'm excited if we go to game 3. We're in for a banger night regardless of how this goes.
Yeah, DBZ, I mean, you said everything that's need to be said, so all I could throw out here to you, faithful in the Salt Mine Pod, is we're going to a break here. We're going to take a short, brief intermission, but Wangtown will have side selection in their hands going forward as they play for their Qualifier 1 lives. A loss puts them at top 8. but they are not there just yet. So stick with us through the short intermission. We'll be on the other side showing you Game 2 draft, Pulsestar versus Wangtown.
君のことば繰り返し寝ても覚めてもやまないそっけない君の笑顔が恋しくて星に願うのまた会えるよね
Thank you, everybody, for sticking through us through a bit of a more extended break, but we are back and ready for what could potentially be the final match of our quarterfinal showcase between Pulsestar and Wangtown. And maybe partially why we had a bit of an extended break here is another roster swap coming across for Wangtown. Cinna exits after one game, Debonair comes back in, and DBZ as the draft is going, I think it's important to remember one of the strengths of this Wangtown roster is the fact that uh, Boil the Oil, Rapid, and Debonair are three guys that have been playing together in Tier 3 for years. So the
Yes.
fact that you get that Three Musketeer synergy back is, at least in my mind, a bit of a buff for Wangtown going forward.
I definitely agree with you on that one. So, as mentioned, Debonair is going to be stepping back in for this game. And as you guessed it, we're right in draft. So, we're getting started right off the bat. So far, we do have slight adaptation. I will say that I do say slight because we're getting the TF band away in this game, which I don't think we got at all in the previous game. We're still sticking with that Tristana. And then on the other side, we have the Zyra and the Ashe being banned away. So, if the Senate doesn't get taken away, I could 100% see a Darkwing Deathwalker going for this pick. And I have to actually say that Pulsestar is 100% respecting Rapid with this Pantheon ban. Rapid absolutely annihilated Castleberry in game 2 of that previous game, and then they started, doing that thing I see where they got a little lost in the sauce, and they started giving some gold away, but ended up keeping that lead. But Rapid Fire set the pace of the game so early that it dictated pretty much the entire rest of the game. But that was taken off the table. We have the Rumble being first picked locked in, and we have Corki and maybe the Nautilus being locked in. Okay, so it will be locked in. So Corki is a flex pick. Won't typically see Corki in the bottom lane. The Tristana being banned away does mean that this Corki will be going into the mid lane. On the other side, we have Jinx being locked in. Really strong carry. Deathwalker also performed on that champion as well yesterday. So looking forward to see if that momentum will carry over. It looks like so far that, Brom.
Great pairing. Great pairing. Currently, just,
Love it.
The premier Jinx pairing right now has been the Braum. I got to watch yesterday Black Rock Esports punch. They're taking the top 8, and it was because their Jinx got absurdly fed, which you normally see, especially from an Ori B, but it was mostly a B's ability to just peel for an Ori B. So I like this pairing coming out for Wangtown's bottom lane. But Polestar are the ones that actually do come out with the double marksman comp, like you mentioned. The Corki slotted in for Ariendel into that mid lane, and then Prismal's going to get on top of that Varus with the Nautilus beside him as we move into the second phase of bans, which are aptly pretty jungle targeted.
Yeah, definitely minus the LeBlanc and the brand. I did see a couple of people in Twitch chat saying that Will should play brand for this next game. So taking that off the table also is one of the premier junglers. So Zyra and brand. So that pretty much leaves open Lilia. Maokai is still open. Rumble, I will say, is also a possibility. I'm actually shocked that Pulsestar is going for the Jarvan, especially in the way the meta is right now. I could also see where they're coming from in this instance, so that will be the Jarvan. The potential answer in the Corki is Ahri. She is one of them. I do actually respect this pick coming out for Debonair. Performed really well on LeBlanc, so pretty much expecting the same thing on this Ahri pick. And the Win Zhao, you heard me right. Win Zhao, the jungler himself who can dictate the pace of the early game, will be locked in for Rapid. And on the other side, we have the Hoi Hover.
Okay, all right.
We're cooking.
What is going on? All right. Wait. Who is going top? Who is playing top? Is this about to be a Corki top from Hoarder? Or
might be Varus top, actually.
Varus top, actually, yeah. So are you thinking like the OG Varus top where you're going on hit, you're going like Blade of the Ruin King Jock show kind of style?
Yeah, that's actually what I'm thinking here.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Game here in a second, but right before we go into game, a Dragon Soul.
Oh, right, Dragon Soul. This one's the Hex Tech one. We're getting a Hex Tech.
Okay. I think it's going to be a Cloud Drake.
All right, so we'll keep track of those as DBZ is trumping me in his very own game he's brought to the Salt Mine Pod. But let's get to the game so we can see exactly where the hell Polestar's draft is.
It is Varus top.
And it's Varus top. And also...
Wait, it's Cloud first?
Yeah, for our lovely game. We're still both alive. Hoarder is
No, I'm not.
Oh, did you say Cloud? Oh, my God.
I said Cloud. I told you I'd be wrong.
Yeah, you did say... You know what? You kind of get like a point because you said that you're going to whiff the next two. And then you immediately whiff it, so that's like a half point in my mind, at least.
You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay, so you were mentioning the Varus top. You know, we see the Jack Show coming out to be able to withstand some of that. Are we getting a cheeky 5v5 here? Pause everything as I hold that thought. We're getting a level 1.
Oh my god. This is like two black holes meeting in the middle. Here we go. It's just pandemonium level 1, but it's Pulsestar that are set attacking. It's first blood, though, that somehow comes across for Clarice, but it's going to be traded back to back, and most importantly, it is Deathwalker getting the double kill on the Jinx before we even hit a minute on Summoner's Rift.
I would like to casually point out this is exactly how Game 2 started, more or less. Oh, actually, hold that thought. The oil.
Gets his back canceled, but there's no stun ability from Prismal just yet, so he'll walk right out.
Prismal will be on this way in the bottom lane. That's so nuts. But I was just getting ready to say this is exactly how Wangtown started Game 2 yesterday, with Deathwalker and Rapid getting ahead in the early game. So on track so far to exactly what they did yesterday, meaning that I expect Rapid to start dictating the pace of this game. Did burn Flash, however, level 1, so that might slow it down a little bit. Prismal also doesn't have Flash, so I could potentially see a play being made onto Prismal, but by the time like level 2 hits, we could see a potential level 2 coming out of Rapid here. But my question of the century is, will a part of the Jarvan Hive Mind... I have a friend who has this concoction called the Jarvan Hive Mind, where it's 3 camps into gank, 2 camps into gank, 1 camp into gank, then no camps into gank.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of ganking. So we'll see if Will subscribes to the Hive Mind here. And he currently passes 2 camps cleared. Rapid himself gonna go for a cheeky, leaving the Krugs, pathing up towards the top side. And I like this move from Wangtown, at least from this clear speed we're seeing from Rapid. It signals that they really want to make sure Hoarder is not comfortable on the pocket pick Varus top.
Definitely. It's just one of those weird picks that we don't see terribly often. And I would assume Hoarder has played this in scrims before. It's possible maybe they're first timing it. That is also a potential possibility. But it's something that we used to see a little bit in Tier 2 and Tier 1, not so much. Will is here on the top side. Yeah, 3 camps.
He gets all 3 of his camps, but unfortunately for the Hive Mind, Boil the Oil is in a good spot to play pretty safe, so... do we count it if he looked for it? I don't think so.
No, not really. I mean, did get a ward down in the river. Will spot out Rapid here as they will walk over it. I think that makes your prediction call of making Hoarder uncomfortable. Actually, they're just going to full send it onto this one.
Hoarder has no sums, so Boil Oil can flash on top of him. He has Ignite. Here comes Will. He's going to try flash flag and drag, but it seems to be a little bit too late. Rapid picks up the kill on the Hoarder, and now Will has no flag and drag, no flash. He gets knocked up. A bit more damage across could do it. No red buff available. The wind becomes lightning. Goes just wide, and Will is counting his lucky stars.
Woo-wee, just living there with like sub 100. Well, no.
Oh, he can't. All right, he flagged. He's fine. No flash on Rapid. No feet. Will live.
Woo-wee, yeah, if Rapid has flash there, 100%. We're going for that Jarvan. That is another kill over. So, like I said, Rapid will start. Wait, I'm gonna hold that thought. Ariandel. We'll spot it here. Okay. So most likely we'll walk out of this unscathed, get the Scuttle Crab, and hopefully we'll gonna make their way down towards this bottom crab. They might play a little bit of harass here, but just be annoying. Range versus melee, it's gonna be expected to go Arendel's way. But gonna piggyback a little bit to what I was saying. When Rapid likes to dictate the pace of the game, he's really good at taking control, and we're pretty much on pace for that right now. 2 assists, 1 kill as well. Most likely backing after this, after finishing their top camps, we'll get started on their first item of the games. This probably the Sundered Sky. We'll kind of keep an eye on that as we go over the course of this game. Now that kind of puts the enemy jungler, in this instance it will be Will, so Rapid kind of gets in their head, is like, you have to start dictating the pace that I'm making. Hold up,
my God. I was gonna say, Rapid was setting up for a lane gank. They don't want Hoarder to be able to play the game. You pick Varus top into us, and Wangtown take it as pure disrespect. 3rd death for Hoarder. This time, Boil the Oil grabbing his first kill off the back.
Yep. And for someone to be extremely annoying into a Varus, who do you want kills on? The Rumble, because that red carpet would be absolutely scathing to this Varus. There's a lot of squishies, I have to say, on the side of Pulsestar. they're going to be counting their lucky stars, depending on if they can start picking up the pace in this game. I don't think it's like totally doomed as of right now. We're only 5 minutes into the game. They are securing their first streak right now. However, on the other side, Rapid is currently invading on the top side, taking camps away. Hopefully goes for the red buff here. Oh, actually will not go for the red buff. Do it, you coward. I know you want it. All right, never mind. So the first streak will go over. It is an ocean that will be the second on the map.
I'm alive.
See, this is the curse. See, I get the first one right, then I get the next several wrong, but then whoever I'm co-casting with always gets it right after that.
All right, we'll see. My odds are getting better by the minute. Actually, they in fact cannot get better than this at this point. This is the best odds I have going forward.
Honestly, real. Now, we got level 6s being finally ticked over here 6 minutes into the game. TP going to be burned by Arendelle to come back and catch this wave. And we were kind of talking in draft a little bit. We're like, okay, where are half of these champions going? So now that we have a pretty good idea rather, we see that it is the Veristop, which is a pick that will most likely continue to be abused. The flash is up right now as we see the Void Grubs going down here. This will be WANG keeping that Void objective supremacy that they are known to have. They will just push on by, get a tempo going of their own, enable themselves to they kind of like to do these little bit of weird 4-1s, 1-3-1-ish type style with Boyo the Oil kind of doing whatever they want, and then usually hovering over with the team depending on who they are playing in this instance. So getting that started is a good start for them. They did lose the first Drake, but I think they're okay with that. Usually Cloud is the least contested Drake out of all of them anyways. Sure, the movement speed is nice, but I think teams understand that one is better than the other, so they'll handshake Drake for Grubs, as we mentioned. Here in the bottom lane, we haven't really talked much. I'm actually surprised that we haven't had much action down here, considering Prismo did not have flash for the first 5 minutes of the game. But they kind of just chilled it out, farmed it out, 8 CS apart from each other. We're feeling pretty good. Honestly, I'm surprised this game has slowed down as much as it has.
Maybe won't slow down much longer. Oh, good work from the Oil. And he will actually have to flash a Chain Disruption. So Pulsestar do get the coveted flash down. That is important. And maybe you jinx the bottom lane scuffle because there's a Spiraling Despair and a Dredge line through. But Deathwalker is comfortable frontlining mainly because Rapid is coming through from the Tribrush side. But Clarice and Prismal will be able to get back to safety under their own turret.
The timing of the Winter's Bite had timed out, but hold that thought. I think Rapid is getting collapsed on. Maybe Clarice is out of position.
Ooh, okay. Good Dredge line to create some distance. Rapid is now 1 versus 2 up a little too far forward. But the real victory has been won here by weighing down. They get the coveted Scuttle.
The good old Crabbity Crab. We've seen many a jungler die for them. We have seen many a games lost for them. But you know what? At the end of the day, it does not happen as we're still fighting bottom lane. Flash has to be burned.
Jeez, Clarice. Far too low. Prismal gonna get a good fear. Will's coming around. Good Severing Bolt. Actually, we'll just get Jito. Prismal picks that one up with the Comet's help. And now Will can kind of just play frontline himself, making sure Rapid doesn't look for re-engage. Does get the Lightning Strike on to Prismal. The bottom lane's far too low. Will is doing this all on his own. There's the rocket. Oh, Clarice uses the shield to tank it. Rapid able to, Will able to kill off Rapid. And Pulsestar are slowly crawling their way back into this game.
They actually took the gold lead, as a matter of fact. They're 300 gold up right now. It looks like the bottom lane will stick around down here. I anticipate that not too much will come out of this, but you heard me that whole time, like, use the rocket, use the rocket, but I understand why, because Will was body blocking for most of that, as Jito is up here. It's like,
trying to cut off Arendelle. Gets the Ignite down, go for the Braum passive. There's the Spirit Rush out, but Debonair has to be careful. Arendelle can still pop him. Debonair has to bail out, so it might be Rapid's gold bounty to find, but a good flash from Arendelle, and Ellie somehow slips out of what's felt like certain death.
Yeah, I mean, the Valkyrie luck away to get away from tower, and it was dicey there for a moment. The Ignite was burned. Jito did use that, and it's just that E-Shred, that armor shred that Corki does now is just insanely strong, and just getting that up close, and Debonair almost lost their life to that play, and that's really what saved Arendelle, I would say. Also flashing over the wall as well, but just not giving over any gold over, and just kind of feeling themselves. They're feeling good. Looks like they're working towards Triforce. Triforce is usually the typical first item that will be built. And as we're coming back down to the bottom lane, okay, well, before that. Never mind.
This is only going to get worse. Prismal's ability to poke is going to just scale up infinitely, and I think that's what Pulsestar are really playing for with this draft. They're once again trying to use their range. Obviously, they like for their top VARs to not be 0-3, but in an ideal scenario, if this game scales up, it's really hard to deal with a Hui, a Corki, and a Varus all just firing onto a team for Wangtown that doesn't have the most hard engage.
No, really the only engage that they have is the Xin Zhao for the side of Wangtown. You could argue Braum and Rumble as well, but the problem is the setup has to be there, and it's a little difficult when you have a Varus. Looks like it is going to be on hit, so it won't be like shooting arrows from halfway across the map and splitting your health bar. But this wave damage, as we see, is going to get disgusting, as this is going to be contested right now. Hex Flash.
Oh, good. Crescent Guard knocks Will away from the Dragon. Rapid's able to pick it up, and now can just take up all this damage. Spiraling Despair back down. Jito's going to tank it. He's able to dash his way to safety. Debonair Spirit Rush means another dash to safety coming across, but the Cataclysm drops Jito, traps him in. We'll find a trade kill back, though. Does get Deathwalker excited, trying to frontline, but Clarice is trying to burn through Rapid, but Deathwalker is just being ignored, and this Jinx should not be trifled with. Great fear from Prismal, but Deathwalker, who started 2-0 this game, is not a Jinx to be messed with.
Yeah, absolutely. A 2 for 2 at the end of that whole play. So we have Prismal and Arundel surviving, and then Deathwalker. Okay, sidestep Deathwalker and Debonair surviving on the other side as well. The cheeky Drake steal from the Crescent Guard, knocking Will out of the pit, does end up splitting the Drake take. It is an Infernal Soul that will be up for grabs. Honestly, that soul is extremely powerful for both of these teams. Will being spotted out on this top ward here. But this Inferno Soul is going to be pretty disgusting for whoever gets it, I will say. I mean, Prismal with Inferno Soul, Hui, all right. You have a Corki with Inferno, disgusting. Jinx or Ari with Inferno Soul, disgusting. So this is going to be a pretty powerful soul. The gold lead is like 600-ish. It's kind of hovering around. It looks like Prismal might be collapsed on here. Never mind. Should be fine.
Clarice is hovering, drops all of his CC down, and is trying to body block, make sure no charm comes across from Debonair. Prismal will be safe. Oh. But look on the other side here. This is 6 grubs for Wangtown. Rapid's going to grab this one with ease, and that's a really good way to get some pushing power going for 2 solo lanes that are low-key side lane threats, I feel like, with this Rumble and Ari.
Yeah, I would definitely say that they're going to be in the side lane quite a lot. So I'm kind of thinking 1-3-1 is going to be the style for this game for them. And Hoarder being spotted out here. Rapid could 1v. Oh, never mind. It's not a 1v1. It is potentially a 3v1. Hoarder is in danger.
Equalizer slow. Yeah, I mean, this feels like a dive incoming no matter what Hoarder does. He's just trying to cut down the minion wave maybe, so that makes the dive a lot more risky. And actually totally annihilates the dive. Rapid just really can't set up for it. But speaking of dives, Will's going to try one of his own. Spirit Rush makes the Cataclysm virtually useless. And all Will's able to find is a trade of ultimates.
Really good trade of ultimates there. We're actually not done.
Yeah, we're skirmishing topside. Is this the revenge of Hoarder? That piercing arrow says yes. Jito drops off. And Clarice doubling up with the other marksman on his squad. Doesn't hit the dredge line. Teleport flank coming back. That's a full health Debonair. No Spirit Rush, but Boil the Oil has a dash of his own. He's going to flash forward with the Flame Splitter, forcing flashes galore. Hoarder and Clarice have to bail over the wall. And now Hoarder still fighting well the damage. He's able to push out onto Boil the Oil, but Rapid will trade him back out. With the Crescent Guard, the slow of Wind becomes lightning. Isn't enough. It is with the Q from Debonair. And boy, do we got a bloody one for game 2.
Oh yeah, 8-7. The gold lead is 1,000. It almost doesn't even matter what it is at this point. Just both teams scrapping it out. Like, Wangtown does not want to be eliminated. This is only a single elimination bracket. There is no second chances after this. Pulsestar looking to make it into top 4, and they know that they are the favorites. But Wangtown has a lot to prove for this, and so far they are showing out. I have enjoyed watching this team. They're securing the Rift Herald right now at this moment. This will give them avenue to get mid-prio for the Drake in 1:25. We got a lot of nonsense kind of going on here in the mid lane. Lots of pings going down. I'm trying to get this mid lane tower. Jito might be out of position. Actually is okay. We'll jump back to the Jinx. There is no wave, so nothing will come out of this. We're just kind of going back and forth right now for mid lane prio. They want to break open this mid lane tower as Hoarder, once again, is going to get dove.
gotta get a more creative script here, all right? The Hoarder getting dove is just so common by this point, and he can't even escape out away from his turret. Rapid cuts him off. Rapid gets the kill. Debonair there to assist, and now the top lane turret is next to be targeted, but Pulsestar getting a turret of their own on the backside.
So this will make a play for the trade on the other tower, and I think we're just going to go for the second charge here up on this top side. Yep, that makes sense. Get it as low as you can so that way it's prepped.
Oriental, though. He's in a very great position. Deathwalker wasn't ready for it in that side brush. Gets a big shield, though. Deathwalker gets excited from the turret taken. Flashes away, but the rocket still sinks through. Oriental finds the trade. But a trade in a tier 2 turret for Wangtown is very profitable. The question is it just going to be a trade? Because Jito eats a hook, has to flash out. Actually, at the end of the day, I think that gold swings in favor of Wangtown.
I believe so. It's still 704 Pulsestar, so it's still close per se. Prismal having no mana at the end of that play, so not much was going to come out of that. But man, broke open the top tier 1. They summon Herald, immediately go for top tier 2, break tier 2. Ariandel gets a pick on it to Deathwalker. And honestly, it was kind of all over the place from both sides. There was so much that happened at once. We have the next Drake that is up. It is the first Infernal of the game. We're going for pick here. I do believe if anyone walks up kind of funky, I think Rapid should be the target here as he will be spotted.
Yeah, get the speed up from Prismal. The Rapid dashes to the minion wave wisely. Doesn't get pulled back in by any of the CC from Prismal. Wangtown, though, do surrender control of the river. Debonair does hit that good charm, but it's on the Clarice, who puts the shield up, and now Pulsestar will start this first Infernal Drake. It's on top of a ward. Wangtown have all of the information in the world that they need. Question is, are they willing to fight for this? They want that mid-prio. They still have that turret to knock down. Rapid itching forward to try go for another 50-50. Use the Crescent Guard to knock Will away from one before. He will not this time. Will picks up the first Infernal Drake. Rapid gonna need a hook. Crescent Guard gonna have to come down to back him off, but the Equalizer is pushing all of Pulsestar away. Rocket sinks through as well. Clarice truck low, and Will's going on a suicide mission to get the Cataclysm down. And look what it sets up. The sheer Corky damage is too much to bear for Wangtown. Debonair has to flash out of the pit as well. What a setup. What a dying wish from Will.
Yeah, I imagine Will is the one who made the call to go for that. I was not expecting that rocket damage. That must have been a big rocket that went off, securing both of those kills. Ends up being a 2-for-1 trade at the end of that play. And really, I mean, 2 for 1 and plus the Drake. So if you're Pulsestar, you're like, all right, we got what we came for. Where our Corky is getting fed. Easy peasy, let's move on. Just the absolute sheer just willpower of Will, no pun intended here, to make the sacrifice for their team for that play, knowing it was going to turn out that well. I think if it kept going, they Pulsestar win that fight just much harder than they did. But good to see that Wangtown knew that once that happened, it was time to peel off, and just well respect to them for making that call. I gotta say though, both these teams, they spent the first game downloading each other, and they definitely now know, like, all right, so what are these weird cheeky things they're gonna try? Oh, okay, we know they want to get some mid-prow before this Drake, so how do they want to do it? They're gonna try to look for a pick. And what did Pulsestar do? They look for a pick. And these two teams just have like studied each other, and it's incredible to see. And Slayer, we're almost at 20 minutes, but I just wish this game would just keep going on forever. This is exciting.
Well, at least it's going to, for now, hold up that excitement level with how close this game is. Pulsestar, and the next macro chess piece move they make is to try and play for all three outers, but Gito's not going to let it go without a fight. Puts the Glacial Fissure down offensively versus the flash from Clarice. Debonair going forward, makes Prismal have to utilize his key summoner as well, and the chase is on with Wangtown. But do they want to go for the chase? Great point out there, DBZ. Look at Oriental. He says, all right, you want to chase my squad? I'll take a Covenant Tier 2 turret. Knocks it down in the mid lane, but Hoarder, fight checking a brush, is going to keep Wangtown here. Rapid going for the engage. They are going to get Clarice. This is a good fight for Wangtown, but Oriental is deciding to try and go for a flank, but a flank might fall a little bit short here because Hoarder, Will, and Prismal, they just can't find a turn. So Oriental changes his mind, and he's now trying to slam it right back down mid for threatening an inhibitor turret.
Yeah, most likely won't get it. Actually, they're stopping the backs. He might actually get this. Will being forced to EQ out. All right, they're finally making the collapse onto Ariandel. Should just back off from here too. Okay, all right, we're doing Mission Impossible now. Are we gonna do this? Ariandel, can you do it? You have TP, but they can't stop you if you TP. Ah, there it is.
There's the call, DBZ, and he teleports back into the night. It doesn't even hit an emote. It's all business for Oriendel, and the business accomplishes its goal, breaking open Wangtown's base at 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm actually glad, let's say hypothetically that play was still going on the top side where backs were being delayed. I'm actually glad that they decided not to opt into going to opening up the inhibitor this early, because I kind of have a beef with teams opening up inhibitors like pre-22 minutes. It's just a lot of fat extra gold that can be given over, and that would be an avenue for Wangtown to funnel some extra gold into their carries. But luckily, they just go for the tower. But that was also a lot of solo gold, I have to say. We have 2.5 items on this Corki, so that could be a little punishing later into this game. We have a minute 17 till this next Drake. Baron is on the map. They see Varus, so they might make a play here if they decide to. They're making a lot of moves up here. They're fishing. They got the rod. They're out by the lake. They're casting it out. It looks like they're gonna make the call to reset, which makes a lot of sense. I think we just get vision here if you are on the side of Wangtown, so that way you know that Pulsestar won't start this Baron. Their Baron is pretty quick. I mean, Varus isn't there, but I think even with just Corki and Hui, they could just shred this Baron down. But good on them to get some vision down to kind of check. And then back off, make sure that they can get these waves synced up so that way it doesn't give Pulsestar this prio. And I think Hoarder might be out of position here in a second if he is seen alone. But at the same time, you don't want to give up that Baron pressure. We just make a plan of Prism instead.
Yep, Debonair. 2 more Spirit Rush charges. Hits the charm as well. Prism should be dead, and the Rocket will sing it home. Deathwalker grabs that one. Is this enough for Wangtown to feel comfortable trying to start up this Baron? They'll at least take control of that top river.
Still have 280 carries alive, and Will is also alive with Flash, but they might make the call here. They are setting some vision down. I was gonna say I don't anticipate they started, but they're actually going to. All right, Pulsestar, you see them on this. You know what HP it is at. The 50-50 is possible, and I'm getting a little nervous.
Yeah, it's below half HP. They're burning it down well. There's Chains of Corruption down to hold people in place. Deathwalker eats a huge chunk on this Jinx. It means that Pulsestar feel like they can go in for the engage. Will drops Cataclysm, flashes out. Boiling Oil.
Oh my god, these rockets.
Prismal's back up, and he's teleporting back in, but it's Oriendel pushing out tons of damage. Debonair is trying to hold him at bay, but Oriendel will not be slowed down. Still hunting, trying to get the Phosphorus Bomb. Isn't enough. He eats a Bronze Stun.
My
now
god.
Debonair over the wall, but the Spiraling Despair from Prismal gets it done. Deathwalker's gonna eat a Severing Bolt. It's Prismal's revenge that opens up the Baron bit for Pulsestar.
Alrighty, and he gets the ending kill. The
Prismal.
Prismal with the triple. It was a 4 for nothing, and just there's just so much to cover of what just happened there. I mean, Pulsestar feeling confident that they could go for that fight. The poke damage that we mentioned earlier from the Varus and the Corki and Prismal, just absolutely shredding these health bars. Ends up being a triple kill, a Baron. The gold lead is finally ballooned to 5,000, just about 5,000. And they're going to be looking for this next Drake. Pulsestar, I think, is in full control of this game.
And we talked about it. The EBZ, the range Pulsestar advantage has is just really singing through here. And I know Pulsestar made this big comeback, and they're going to set up for this dragon, but I do have to ask the burning question in my heart. What is Hoarder building this game?
We're going Zanya's, and we're also going Banshee's Veil, but Jito might be caught here.
Oh, well, Hoarder's going to show his build off as he tries to knock Rapid away, and yeah, Jito is going to be caught. Will picks that one off, and with Baron, I mean, Infernal Soul Point feels like a given for Pulsestar.
Yeah, I don't think they'll opt in for it. They'll shove in this midway, break open this inhibitor, while Oriendel is on the bottom side, breaking open that tier 2 tower as well to give more gold hold on themselves. Actually, not quite. Hold on, almost. Okay, there we go. Now we got the bot lane tier 2, and going ahead, shoving this wave in, bringing this wave in, breaking open this tier 3. They're strong enough to where they could realistically dive this if they wanted to, but they'll make the smart call, go for the tier 3. They will be breaking open the second inhibitor, then they'll probably back off, go for Drake, unless Wangtown pulled the trigger here. They
Jito's
could.
Back up. It's a 5v5. That's a 3-man knockup of the Glacial Fisher. The Equalizer is going to cut people onto both sides.
Oh my god.
Will has to jump over the Equalizer. The Rocket doing so much damage. Hoarder's low. Oriendel's pretty low as well, but Rapid gets his health bar erased, and Will's going for the backline with the Cataclysm, locks everybody up. Can Polestar get the kills? Yes, they can.
no.
Somebody called Nurse Star. Somebody called Nurse Star, but not for Pulse as they push for the base and the series win to go top 4 in Qualifier 1.
They ended the previous game in 24 minutes. They're ending this one in barely 25, just over. Incredible play from Polestar. They came in today as the favorites. We came in today having high expectations for them, and they delivered. But you got to give Wingtown some credit. But Polestar are in the top 4. They will be advancing to the semifinals.
Wow. A very, very fun game, too. But the defining thing you point out there, DBZ, a 2-0 sweep. Polestar are going for the perfect run through a qualifier. I haven't personally seen it yet. They are 11-0 in games right now. 2-0s from the start of the GSL stage, and that should at least put this qualifiers on notice, even if the level of competition is about to kick up crazily in the semifinals.
And that's the reason why they're number 1 in Group A right there.
Yeah.
There's not just too much we can say. These players speak for themselves. There's not too much that we need to say. We saw what they did both these games. They were even behind in this second game and ended up playing as if they were ahead. It just threw... I'm just tongue-tied because it's like it was just so good. It was so much fun to watch. And I will bring it back a little bit, as I have to say I saw a lot of good things out of Wangtown. They played
100%.
incredibly well in both of these games. I saw how well they played yesterday. That translated into today, but it was just unfortunate that Polestar, being the favorites that they are, they showed why they were the favorites. And I gotta definitely give it to Wangtown for performing very well. And I think they can hold their heads high for this upcoming OQ2 in the next. Oh my goodness, when does that start? Actually, I'm thinking about it.
You know, I'm not 100% on the timeline there, but I believe it will be early August, maybe like second week of August. It's it's a quick turnaround. Like, I think it's a 2-week break that we got,
Okay.
and then we're right into qualifier 2. Somebody can correct me if you're wrong. The only reason I somewhat know the timeline is because I know the promotion tournament will end the day before LCS finals.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that would make sense.
yeah. So, but yeah, I think you made a great point about Wangtown. Listen, the goal, a baseline goal for OQ1, in my opinion, is you got to make top 8 to be competitive in the points category. They did that. They were first, I believe, the first WANG roster to make it to top 8 in a very long time, and very impressive in a lot of their games, like you pointed out, DBZ. But for the winner's side, I feel like the MVP discussion we want to have is pretty clear cut on who the series MVP is.
Well, actually, maybe I don't know, because
No, really, I just feel like it's Ariandel, but I'm
Okay,
willing to
then
listen
go
to
ahead.
any arguments if you're feeling different.
So I obviously would pick Ariandel, but my
Mhm.
second closest would have been Will,
100%.
actually,
No, that'd be my runner-up. Yep.
mine. But I gotta say just how well that Will was pathing around the map, being in the right place at the right time, counter jungling in perfect moments, and making Rapid fall behind very severely in that first game. Just it was incredible. Yeah, Ariandel would get the MVP. Just the EQs on the Jace from the first game, those accelerated shock blasts, and just how well playing on the Corki in this game as well. Congrats, Ariandel, you're the GOAT. I see why Slayer calls you the GOAT now, so I understand now.
Well, yeah, I think he's trending himself towards another team of the week coming from the main broadcast. Where we're going to trend you guys towards next is Aegis Esports. Make sure to go show them love. It is actually a game 3 for Dragoons Goons. BlackRock Esports take a game in that quarterfinals match. So we'll be sending you that way. But big shout out. DBZ was a blast getting to cast with my friend. Thank you for coming on to the Salt Mine Pod. And then Chippy, as always, running everything behind the show for us. Thank you so much. That potentially could wrap the coverage for the Salt Mine Pod on this qualifiers. We'll be back for qualifier 2 nonetheless. Still figuring out some things behind the scenes of who is going to be broadcasting the other semifinals match that isn't on main broadcast. So keep an ear out for there. But for now, go show Aegis Esports some love. Once again, congratulations to the undefeated Pulsestar squad as they move to top 4. And enjoy the rest of your weekend as it comes to a close. And as always, make sure to take care. We'll see you guys when we see you.